Sega.
Alright, and welcome to the Vanquish Let's Play. I'm McKilligan, and I'm going to be taking you through the game. Vanquish is one of my favorite games ever. It was released in October in 2010 by Platinum Games, as we just saw, who are responsible for Bayonetta and, more recently, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. And you will definitely see those influences in the game. So here's the title screen. If you pay attention to the Q, that sort of logo for the game, that's actually a reference to the Lagrange points, which is a position between two bodies in space where a third body can sort of stay in a gravitational equilibrium and maintain its position. This is just the little intro cutscene for the tutorial. I just kept this in because, well, it looks cool as hell. But we're going to be skipping that. If it's your first time through the game, it's worth going through, but it's not particularly interesting. And this is San Francisco. Shinji Mikami. Shinji Mikami has directed a couple of pretty notable, well-liked games. God Hand, before Vanquish. But he's also responsible for Resident Evil 4 and Dino Crisis. He was also a producer on a lot of other really interesting games that a lot of people like. Killer 7, Shadows of the Dam, so he's worked with Suda51 a couple times. He's also had a hand in Beautiful Joe and, more famously, Devil May Cry, among a lot of others. So yeah, this guy, he's got a pretty good pedigree when it comes to making badass games. Not something you'd really want to have pointed at Earth, I think. Anyway, what I was talking about earlier with the Lagrange point, that is sort of where this space station, Providence, hangs in space between the Earth and the Moon. And then it shot San Francisco. Kind of a dark intro, I guess. Originally, the space station was designed as a microwave energy transmitter, not so much as a death ray. Basically, San Francisco is being baked. It's like God took a magnifying glass. Oh, I'm not sure why it's resulting in people popping like popcorn rather than, just frying, but I guess one of those would be a bit too gruesome to show. I'm not entirely sure why that would result in the bridge collapsing as it does. But, whatever. It's not a position you would want to be in regardless. Point being, San Francisco, gone.
The Order of the Russian Star now welcomes you to the inauguration of a new Russian state.
My order is now the only authority in Russia. In 10 hours, we exercise our newfound strength once again.
And that is the President of the United States.
Prevent the destruction of
New York City.
Your complete and unconditional surrender.
Totally not Hillary Clinton.
My fellow Americans,
Clearly Elizabeth
today
Winters.
has been a day of great tragedy. San Francisco will never be the same. And the toll of our war has increased by countless men, women, and children. Their loss is deeply felt by every American. To those who have committed this heinous act, we say firmly, we will not negotiate with those who wish to destroy us. Our strength is unmatched, our will resolute. We will be victorious.
She speaks
God
as though they're
bless you
already
all.
at war, but
God bless the United States of America.
it's not really addressed in any of the canon.
SCO-1 Providence is currently under the control of those responsible for the coup in Moscow. We believe the operation is being led by a Red known as Zaitsev. Oh yeah. This is Sam. DARPA sent him to come along with us. Men, we've got 8 hours to stop New York from becoming the next San Francisco. Make no mistake, we will stop that from happening.
Yeah, interpreted in the wrong light, that could be a commentary on
Sam,
gay marriage laws? I don't know.
not sure if you've noticed, but your new friends don't seem too fond of you.
DARPA operatives take their orders directly from POTUS and SecDef. These guys are just interested in marking their territory.
Sam, remember why we're here.
Just listen to me. The American government has been betrayed by one of its own. You two are the only ones I can trust with this information. The Russian military is planning on using the microwave energy array to attack the U.S. As its designer, I cannot abide this misuse for such a heinous purpose. You know what must be done.
It's a flashback in case it wasn't obvious.
We'll get the professor back. This place, hell, even this suit runs on his energy designs. He's too valuable to kill.
I know.
This the toy you've been working on? Not even scratched. You did get some training in this thing, right?
Our simulators are very thorough. They did quite a number on you, huh? We could use you as a test subject at DARPA. What the fuck, man?
We're going in hard and fast. All units, proceed to the ramps.
You're not allowed to smoke on the ship.
Sam and Lieutenant Colonel Burns have an interesting relationship. I know it's absolutely not canon or anything, but it's kind of funny if you look at it in the context of a couple who's recently broken up on bad terms. Pretty much everything they say to one another kind of... well, you'll see. Anyway, I had delayed it a little bit, and Burns and his group of Marines got a little bit ahead of me. Now, if I had been with them, right here, when this one Marine gets sucked out, pretty much every Marine along with... except for Burns, would have been sucked out of that hole. So I just saved their lives by delaying a bit. And if it's worth seeing once... so, it's about 10 minutes of cutscene and 30 seconds of gameplay? Yeah, they know. Getting some definite Legend of the Galactic Heroes vibes. look at the main enemies of the game. These are Gorgies. We'll get more into them later. Things are not going well for the Marines initially. So far, I don't think a single dropship has made it off the ship.
Get on board, sir. We're ready for real stuff.
Sounds like such a great idea. It's worked so well in the past.
Come on, you eight. Wanna live forever?
Straight out of the Starship Troopers. But I guess that Marine was actually probably smarter than you think. Maybe he's aware that Burns and Sam have plot shield, and this is the only ship that's going to survive. About this game, if it's not exploding or crashing, it soon will be. That applies to just about everything. That was nice of the enemy to set up some beachhead barricades for us.
The Russians have complete control of this place.
Alright, now the game begins proper.
Get through that central gate!
We aren't gonna get through it like this, sir.
Alright, so first objective is basically just to move up the battlefield a little bit. It's almost impossible to fail, but it is possible to die here.
Yeah.
If you go there, you should be able to flank the enemy from behind.
Now I'm just trying to pick off a couple of guys in the turrets. Look. Here we go. If you take a critical amount of damage, your ARS, Augmented Reality Suit or something, I think that's what it stands for, will activate, which essentially will put you in slow motion and will give you enough time to deal with the threat. Here we go. Pangloss statues are the collectibles in the game. They're scattered throughout all the missions, usually in hard-to-find places, and they're entirely useless. You do not earn anything by finding them, other than a sense of satisfaction. Now right here, you're meant to boost under that low bridge there, otherwise you can't pass it, but if your suit is overheating, you can't boost, so you have to wait until it cools down. The second Pangloss statue is hiding over here. I find the first couple statues in this mission, but I don't pay attention to them for the rest of the game. They're not really worth it. Here we go. Gorgies. These are your basic mooks in the game. Low health, easy to kill, but for all that, they are still surprisingly dangerous. And like I said, they blow up real quick. Just like everything else in this game. They spent a lot of time and effort in this game making sure that all of the explosions and debris and just general shooting around that's going on looks great. This game is also pretty good about providing you with ample scenery porn. Pretty much all the backgrounds and levels have something going on. Look here, I mean, these ships are actually closing in on you. They're not static. Now right here, you don't actually have to do anything. You can shoot these guys if you want, man the turrets, but it really won't matter if you don't. Let's try something else here. If you use slow motion, you can pinpoint target grenades and use them as airburst, which is a great way of getting a couple of guys that it might be behind cover, or if you don't want to wait for the grenade to detonate. It's a very useful trick. Coming in here. Now, the first time I played this game, I did not even notice this ship crashing into the ground right behind me. I was too focused on, shooting all the robots. So the nice thing about watching a Let's Play is you don't have to focus on killing stuff. You can actually take a second and observe all the scene set design. This game does have melee attacks. They do have a strong downside though. After connecting with one, your suit will immediately overheat. So it's a great way to finish an enemy that's closing on you, and if enemies get into melee range, they can do heavy damage, so it's usually worth it sometimes, but you will be vulnerable after that. See, again, he just tried to jump on me.
This will come in handy.
I almost wish he'd succeeded. There's kind of a cool animation that you get if he succeeds. Our third Pangloss statue. Another assault rifle. Now, if you notice the my armory in the bottom right corner of the inventory, some of my guns have a little rank system there. They have a chevron. And that's another system in the game where you can upgrade your weapons. If you have full ammo for a gun and you pick up a duplicate, it gives it a little chevron in the bottom underneath the little icon there. If you collect 3 chevrons, so if you manage not to fire that gun because it has to be at full ammo capacity to earn the chevron, but if you collect 3 of them, it will upgrade it to the next level. And each gun has 10 levels. I'll shut up for a second here.
The arrivals plaza for landing bay 3 is up ahead.
We've got heavy fighting in the plaza. Bravo, move forward, but maintain cover.
Roger that.
Guess it's time for the real thing.
Your suit is performing at nominal levels, Sam.
Never had a girl say that to me before.
It seems kind of odd, because if he has done extensive testing with Elena, it seems like a phrase that would come up a lot. Anyway, each weapon has 10 levels. Usually it'll take you the whole game to get a gun up to level 10, usually, unless you're focusing on it intentionally. Most upgrades will do things like increase the ammo capacity, increase magazine size. Only in the very last levels will you get any kind of power upgrade. So upgrades are not strictly necessary, just useful to have.
A little warmer reception.
Yeah, there is the Gorgie's suicide attack. If you critically damage a Gorgie, but you don't kill it, there's a chance that it'll go turn itself into a live grenade and crawl towards you. They can move pretty fast. If they get close to you, they will kill you. So you always have to prioritize anything that's glowing. I'm just picking up the sniper rifle here to deal with some of these turrets. You do get ranked in the mission on how many friendlies are killed in action, and if you deal with some of these guys, you can spare a few of them. I don't spend too long with the sniper rifles, it's not too interesting. You're getting flanked here.
This will come in handy.
So I just upgraded my assault rifle. Upgrades will drop randomly. Pretty much all the drops in the game are entirely random, and that applies to things that you pull out of those green crates and things that enemies drop. I do believe there is a set number of things that will come out in each level, but when you get them is randomized. So you are going to get at least 1 upgrade here, but it's possible to get 2. You'll see the second one come up later, but it's not guaranteed. Sometimes Marines will be wounded. If you revive them, instead of not punch them, you revive them, which costs you nothing, they will drop a weapon. So it's always worth it to do so. You always want to be picking up as many weapons as possible. And there I'm utilizing the ARS again, and again. Basically, to activate the augmented reality system, all you have to do, or reaction system, I'm sorry. All you have to do is some kind of dodge while holding the left trigger, so holding the aim button. As soon as the dodge completes, and there's lots of different kinds of dodges you can do depending on the context of where you are, you will enter slow motion.
You think they're zapping something in?
They will teleport enemies in occasionally, but if you know they're coming, you can be ready for them.
Enemy reinforcements are closing in on your position.
Upgrades also apply to the grenades, and you have two different types of grenades.
It looks like you're just going to have to fight
EMP emitters and standard grenades. EMPs will stun enemies over a very large radius, and grenades will blow the fuck out of them.
Good. Let's go.
They're both useful depending on the context. EMPs have a bit of a larger range. And you can hijack these walker things once you've killed the enemy on them. Here we go, our first tougher enemy. This is a Romanov N. He has a bazooka cannon in one arm, big ass claw in the other. If you're manning some heavy weapons, they're not too much of a threat, but out of all the Romanovs you will encounter, and there are different types, I've found the Ns to be the ones that will kill me the most often.
All clear.
Thanks for the backup. Area clear.
So you want to be careful with those guys.
The main gate is above you. You need to get up there and open it.
Burns, I need some backup.
Franklin, Rios, you two escort Sam. Everyone else, provide cover.
Alright, now after pretty much every main fight, there's going to be a lot of weapons strewn about the battlefield. And upgrades.
I'll take this.
I always like to keep my assault rifle upgraded as much as I can. The extra magazine size really does help. So if you look at the map, you'll notice there's a bunch of green and white dots.
2 enemy transports approaching from the rear.
The green dots are crates, and the white dots are weapons that are just lying around on their own. Functionally identical, but one of them means you have to open it. You want to be careful here as well, because the point defense cannons on those things will mess you up. I'm using the heavy rifle here. Heavy machine gun, actually. It's a lot like the assault rifle. It's not as accurate, but it punches really hard. Well, just 1 or 2 hits center mass will take care of a Gorgie. This will be your weapon of choice when you need to punch through anything with heavier armor. If you do this dodge, you do that by sliding into a wall and then pressing the attack button. It'll give you a little bit of extra altitude, so you can get a better vantage on enemies behind cover.
A heat source is coming up from within the substructure.
Need a bit more intel than that.
Data analysis complete. It's highly probable we're looking at the Russian KNRB-0 Argus robot that's been at the center of the arms control plate.
Ah yes, our first proper boss in the game.
I think I'm gonna need a bigger gun.
This is the Argus. This thing is composed entirely of weapons.
It's a monocoque design. They sacrificed armor for payload.
And it is one of the more fun fights in the game. As such, we will be encountering it a couple times. This is just the first time.
Rather go all out than bother with defense. Time to hit hard and make him regret it.
Alright, now something a lot of people don't know when they fight this boss, usually you will be up on the second level, which I'll move to later. Most people don't try and fight them on the ground level here. The second level seems to offer a bit more cover, and so there's some turrets up there as well that are very useful. But moving up around here on the ground, it has a lot of advantages. There's a lot more free space to move and dodge around. And with this boss, you want to be mobile. You do not want to just be standing in place for very long. Otherwise, he will shoot you with that. It's not usually an instant kill, but it will critically damage you. So if I take any more hits now, I am in a bad position. but I just crippled its leg, which weakens it for a few seconds. So I can take another pot shot at its giant weak point. Alright, I've got it at less than half health, so I'm going to move up to the second story. This is where most people will be fighting in. If I had been manned at that turret, that probably would have destroyed it, but since the game didn't quite recognize it, he lay away from me so I don't have advantage on him. Kind of annoying. Now, you don't have to damage the legs in order to attack the eye. It'll just disable him for a few seconds. Another reason you want to be constantly moving, like you just saw right there, a lot of the cover here is completely destructible. You do not want to just be poking out of cover, you want to be moving. A lot of people's first instinct will be to use the ARS a lot. It's actually not that great of an idea. ARS should really only be used when you need to line up a particular shot. And this thing is flipping the fuck out. I think we just knocked out its eye, so it's just blindly attacking everything. But now we're moving on to part 2. That wasn't even its final form. I'm going to be using the turret here. This thing will chew through it ridiculously quickly if you can get an advantage on it. The only problem with the turrets, as you saw before, is that you don't always get a good angle on its core.
See the core at the center of its torso.
But I got very lucky this time.
That's the generator.
You can see how quickly this thing is just tearing it to shreds.
Yeah, I heard you. Bravo! Everyone fire on that core!
But I don't want to kill it just yet. There's a lot of cool stuff about this boss to show off. If you blow him up too soon, you don't get to see it. Let's take out his left arm. If you take his left arm out, this triggers. God, this game is retardedly awesome. So he exposes the core again, but I'm gonna let him just sit there for a bit. I'm gonna collect a few weapons. And really, I just want to take this guy to pieces. I want to kill everything before I blow him up. And yeah, like I said, don't be standing in one place for too long. A lot of these missiles will adjust their trajectory and keep coming towards you, so. Alright, taking out both arms and the leg. The head is also targetable. When you're in ARS mode, the vulnerable portions of the targets will be highlighted, so it's very helpful for figuring out exactly where you should be shooting. I didn't get it this time, but the back is also targetable. That also has a big thing you can blow up. But the only way to kill him is to take out the core. And assume cool guy protocol. Do not look at explosions. There we go. Marine wanted to give me a headbutt. Alright, and they didn't rank you at the end of the missions. It doesn't really mean too much unless you're trying to compete with points with your friends or whatever.
Objective complete.
God, the explosions are pretty in this game.
If you say so.
Area clear.
No time for pissing in the wind. Let's go.
Alright.
Gladly.
And with that, I'm gonna run around and pick up a few weapons that I missed.
I've opened the main gate.
Bravo, advance through the gate. But keep it closed until reinforcements arrive.
Environments are fantastic in this game too. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.